Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? How are we doing today? How are we doing today? It is. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Look at this old scene right here. Here we go. We need to do another one of those, Tiberius. That was peak fiction. I don't care what anybody says. What is going on, everyone? How are we doing today? It is January 24th, 2026. Hope we're all doing well today. It is time. It is here. Can you believe it? A lot of people can't. I will admit, I was honestly a little skeptical as well. But here we are. It is legitimately an actual thing that we can say is happening. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Itadori motherfucking Yuji, has actually made himself known. Good time waiting for another Trojan stream, fiending for a new chapter. We could definitely do another one of those soon. I'm definitely in the meantime for a big time Trojan X. I've been on my Suishida grind. I've been spending a lot of my time dedicated to writing this Tokyo Ghoul video about the clowns that I expected to be like 20 minutes. And in typical no-op fashion, it has become like, it's going to be like a 40, 50 minute to hour long video, maybe. The clowns get such a bad rep for being like villains that had no payoff. And I'm tired of the slander. And I genuinely think I'm going to solve all of the debate in that one video. Not actually, but yeah, I'm doing all the research that I've done into almost every clown member. It's insane how much depth it goes into every character that Suishida writes. But this isn't a Tokyo Ghoul or Trojan X stream. This is a JJK Modulo 19 stream, and we got motherfucking Itadori Yuji in the goddamn mix. Hope everyone's doing well. Like I said, it is January 24th. It's 3:33 p.m. Make your wishes. Don't tell anyone what they are. They won't come true. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Helps the stream way more than you know. It's a very free way to support the channel, and you have no idea how much it does for the algorithm's sake. And on top of that, if you do want to support the channel in more ways than one, besides donations, all that good stuff, obviously, what I do also have is I have a great sponsor known as gamersups.gg. They make an awesome energy supplement. I love it because it includes all my daily vitamins that I need, my vitamin B, C, D, all of it. I am drinking some right now, so you can't even say I'm not using their product. Use my link in the pinned message and chat. Use my code NOOP. You can get 10% off your order. Or you can also, if you've never tried GamerSups before and you don't want to take my word for it that it's amazing, go ahead and just use my code anyway. Get some free samples with the new account, and you can literally just get free samples shipped to you. That's how confident they are in their product. And that also, if you can't decide on flavors, that's a great way to get some cool flavors. But yeah, nootropics, it's got good stuff for your eyes. It's got really good stuff for all different things. And there's no sugar, so you're not gonna crash. You're not just fueling up on sugar, and you're hydrating at the same time. And with vitamin B, as I like to call it, vitamin P, you're pissing out all the shit that you don't need anyway. Not to get TMI here. But yeah, seriously, guys, that's a great way to support the channel as well. And again, you can get some free samples using my code anyway if you've never had them before. Anyway, guys, with all that said, that being out of the way, let's get into this chapter, y'all, because there is plenty of stuff to talk about. In a chapter where Itadori Yuji has just revealed themselves, it's kind of crazy to think that there's still so much else going on in the chapter to talk about. Like, you'd think that Yuji is all I have to bring to the table today, but that's not true at all. Actually, I completely believe that there's a really good chance Deborah and Maharaga might be one of the most fun battles to witness. Like, seeing someone like Deborah start picking up such genuine, really cool moments of sorcery, it's awesome. Hey, China Doll, thank you so much for the 20 gifted members. I really appreciate that support, as always, girl. Hey, we're gonna have all greens in this chat soon enough. Literally, just like the old days, gonna have some all green chats. Anyway, What I will go ahead and start with is, of course, the Deborah stuff. We will leave the Yuji stuff for later. There's plenty of stuff to go over. Like Yuji's piercing blood is quite literally one of the craziest things that I think I've ever seen in my entire life. I will say, and I know if anybody wants to clip it, I know if anybody wants to share it with people that have been telling me I have been wrong for months now, and I'll admit it, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yuji has leveled the fuck up. That's what I will say for sure, is Yuji has without a doubt leveled up significantly. I can't deny it anymore now. I can't talk crap about it. I can't say that Yuji is no longer, you know, a special grade level threat. I'm gonna have to imagine, while I can't say that this is a special grade option, I'm gonna have to imagine that if this is Yuji thinking he overdid it and Yuji barely trying, my man's got more in the bank than just, you know, a piercing blood level up here. Yeah, this is just him. Now, I know there's a big contention for if Yuji just fucking murdered everyone here or if he just incapacitated them. Honestly, I know everyone's saying that, like, obviously, you know, he just incapacitated them. To be honest with you, I think we're just gonna have to wait and see. Is it crazy to think that Yuji murdered everyone here? Yes, I would probably say that's not the case. But I'll bring this up one more time. And it's the fact that I really think, I think Prodigy, I don't know if he's here right now, he had such a great theory, which was the Tiger chapter, as, you know, wonky and zany as that was, may be one of the most greatest foreshadowings ever to having us realize that, holy shit, Yuji is not the same Yuji that we knew before. Yuji has quite literally become a completely different person. There's not going to be any talking to him. He's going to say that everyone needs to go. All you Sumerian people need to go. I'm killing you all. And all the higher ups as well that thought this was a good idea. All of you guys have fucked up majorly. Because if you really think about it, didn't all these motherfuckers start playing the craziest type of games the moment that Yuta was in the dirt? Like, I know everyone that likes to talk shit about Modulo's current era is saying that, like, Gojo failed because the sorcerers have grown weaker and, you know, the society is still, you know, has bad actors in it, like, you know, Yuka and Tsurugi's mom, stuff like that, that took the ring away, did all that shit, like, you know, demanded stuff for the Gojo clan. The higher ups are still ridiculously terrible. They're not as bad as they used to be, but they still suck. And you got, thank God you got Usami in the mix, you know, the one good politician. And to be honest with you, I mean, one thing that this recent anime episode really made me think about, right? Because first of all, that anime episode was absolute peak fiction. I know a lot of people think that I'm going too far by saying that that Maki episode was one of the best anime episodes of all time. Which, please, the people that are telling me that it can't be the best anime episode, please give me in chat, tell me a better anime episode than that Maki episode. Again, a lot of people were like clowning me, telling me, you know, on Twitter, like, oh, watch your second anime. I've watched a lot of anime. Maybe I'm just not being able to think of a close second, but oof, or maybe I'm just biased because I love Perfect Preparation, and maybe that's just the bias talking. But either way, seriously, huge improvement. I fucking loved it. But my point that I'm getting to is with Maki killing the entire Zenin clan, everyone gives Maki so much shit, like, oh, Maki just came away looking evil. Like, that's what the people that were saying the episode wasn't you know, didn't map out, or people didn't like Perfect Preparation as a whole. People were saying that, you know, you know, Maki just looks evil. Maki just looks, you know, oh, like, you know, bad. It's bad for her character development, all that stuff. Let me tell you, and I only want to say this once, and then I'll leave it alone. This is my opinion on everything, right? Yeah, the scandal surrounding the 4th episode. Like, people just, I feel like people just always want to have something to complain about, to be completely honest with you, because you can have your criticisms about the story, and about perfect preparation, because I will say the in-between period before the culling game actually really got started, especially with Masamichi Yaga, that I think is about to come right after this in next episode, because then we have to get to the point where Panda, because Kusakabe has to free Panda, right? So Panda can't get to the underground fight club until Yaga dies. So we will be getting that next next episode, I'm pretty sure. Like, there are pacing issues for sure with like from Yuji's execution to chapter 160 Colony is definitely a little bit weirder, but yeah, thank you. Thank you 100%. Sorcerers aren't heroes. That's what I was just about to say. Like, that's one thing to remember. Like, Maki comes away looking evil. Maki comes away looking bad because she murdered the whole clan. There were good people in the clan. Like, this this section is when Gege was really sick, so he rushed it more. Yeah, 100%. The pacing is where there's a bunch of weird stuff, right? I will give it that. Like, the pacing of this small, brief transitionary period is definitely a little off. However, here's what I'll say, and I'll say it once. One, like I said, Jujutsu sorcerers aren't heroes. They're just Jujutsu sorcerers. And one thing that we have learned time and time again that fuels sorcery and makes sorcerers stronger is self-indulgence, selfish actions, believing in yourself, being willing to be greedy, and being willing to take what's yours, being willing to admit that, all right, how did Megami unlock his incomplete domain expansion? By visualizing the perfect performance of himself and saying, fuck it, I'm going to be the best Megami that I possibly can be. I don't give a fuck about if I'm able to save my teammates or if I'm able to complete the mission. I want to win, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do to win. Even people like Sukuna, people like Kashimo, selfish actions, especially why the Heian era was so bloody and all the people in the Heian era were so crazy. They were all indulging in themselves. That's what makes a strong sorcerer. That's why you have people like Hikari that are very, very strong. Now, you do have people on the other side of the equation, people like Gojo, people like Yuta, and stuff like that, where instead of being fully selfish, evil people, they can take that selfish nature, but they use that selfish nature towards good things, right? Like, Gojo is in and of itself a selfish person. You can see that in Hidden Inventory. Gojo is selfish by the pure definition. However, Gojo's selfishness allows him to do things that nobody else can. And when he loses Geto, Gojo decides to use his selfishness, his strong nature, the strength that he was given that makes him better than everyone else. Instead of for himself, he uses it for others. And that's a conscious decision that Gojo makes. So Gojo is still doing what he necessarily wants. That's why he's able to stay the strongest, because he is like, that's why people say, like, personality-wise, Gojo is awful. Gojo's very self-centered. Gojo's very hard to hang out with because he's very, like, in his own head. He's very, like, entitled. But at the same time, he uses that entitlement for good things. Same with, like, Yuta. Yuta is selfish, but Yuta's selfish in the sense that he'll do anything he needs to protect his friends. He'll do whatever he needs to save, you know, to kill Kenjaku, to make sure his sensei doesn't have to. You see this in the culling game specifically when he's like, I alone will get 400 points. Like, that's Yuta's selfish nature coming out here. So Maki killing the entire Zenin clan, and doing that because she wanted to, because that was what Mai wanted, and because to destroy it all, that's how she felt she could atone for what the Zenin clan did to her and Mai. Completely within Maki's right. You can criticize that and not like that, but saying that Maki looks bad in this situation because she looks evil, that, again, they tell us time and time again, especially as this situation starts in the culling game, we are not heroes by definition. We're not your normal protagonists. We're Jujutsu sorcerers. And also, to go into the matter of this is bad for Maki's character development, you can not like the whole Maki having the same heavenly restriction as Toji. However, this is something that has been so set up since the very beginning of her character, and on top of that, I don't think you can say that this is bad character development because this goes nowhere, because realistically, as far as I view it, I view Maki murdering her entire clan as the completion of her arc, right? Like, I should take the things off the screen here. I view Maki massacring the Zenin clan is, in my opinion, the completion of Maki's arc, right? Sure, you can say that, look, she's not done yet. She still has to do the learning that she does to properly use her power, which, fine, sure, whatever. You can make the criticism that you don't. I don't like Sakurajima Colony either, right? Sakurajima Colony is self-admittedly my least favorite arc of all of Jujutsu Kaisen. I know there are people that like Sakurajima Colony. I personally don't. It's just not my favorite in the culling game, or honestly in JJK at all. But I still love Maki's character, and like, again, like, I don't think Maki needed anything past, you know, what we got from her. I really don't think so. I think this was her realizing everything that she should have been, and from there, that's it. And then she solidifies that she completed her arc when she defeats Curse Naoya. And she learns how to properly wield her power like Toji, and she becomes fully maximized. So again, like I said, you can have criticisms, you cannot like it, but I overall have got to say, in my opinion, I think this is fine. And also, not to get fucking super woke and everything like that, but like, also like, for people that claim that Japan doesn't like this episode, like, I also have to remind everyone that, like, I don't think Japan really enjoys so let me be clear when I say this, because Japan, thank you China Doll for the 10 gifted members, I really appreciate you. Let me be careful when I say this, because it is a very specific and nuanced statement that I'm about to say here. It's not that I think Japan doesn't like strong women, because you do have very strong female characters in anime all the time. You got like Noelle from Black Clover, and Noelle from Black Clover is very popular. People, like, it's not that Japan doesn't like women characters, and it's not that women characters can't be strong, but if you'll notice, the difference is Maki's strong in a very different way. Maki is very, and again, there's nothing against her. She's very masculine. Like, you look at Maki here, like the fucking toned ass muscles, the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, she looks badass. I fucking love Maki's new design. I think it looks fucking amazing. But again, maybe this is just my woke liberal mind speaking here. But also, I feel like a lot of people don't like this episode because they don't like that Maki wields the persona of masculinity here. But at the same time, like, that's fine. I'm a firm believer. I've been rewatching Hell's Paradise. I highly recommend Hell's Paradise. Great show. And one of the things that I really love about Hell's Paradise is there's a character. I'm getting so off topic here. I promise we're gonna get to the Jujutsu Kaisen chapter. I promise. This is just the beginning yap session, so we can break the ice here. And in Hell's Paradise, there's a character called Sagiri, and I love Sagiri. I think she's one of the best women protagonists in all of Shonen Jump. Because one of the things that she struggles with is she wants to be an executioner. Her father was an executioner, and so she wants to follow in her father's footsteps. But one thing that she struggles with completely is the fact that she's a woman, and in old school Japan, where Hell's Paradise takes place, they don't take kindly to women doing, you know, man jobs. So she struggles a lot with not just literal sexism in her everyday life with like the people around her and her peers being like, yeah, you fucking suck because you're a girl or like you shouldn't be doing this. Like, so she has to deal with that all day, especially on top of the fact that she has her own self-doubts because of that. And because she internalizes, she very much internalizes all of that downplay and all of that misogyny and all of that fucking nonsense that they give her, and because of that affects her skill wielding the blade. It affects her skill being in a Simon, because she constantly has that doubt of, is she walking the right path? Is she doing the right thing? Everyone around me is telling me I'm doing something wrong, but I feel like this is what I want to do. I feel like this is who I am. And that's a struggle that she has throughout the whole story. And towards the end of the manga, what ends up being like her final enlightenment, what ends up being like her final awakening is like, she's like, fuck it. Like, if people are gonna think that like I'm manly, or people are gonna think that I'm masculine because of what I do, she goes, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to perfectly wield the ultimate balance. I'm going to wield my femininity just as strong as I wield my masculinity. And I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to just be who I am, the best person that I possibly can be. Fuck what everybody else says. I'm going to go and just give myself perfect balance and wield just who I am as a person. And I don't care about anything else. And Sagiri is fucking peak writing. Again, I highly recommend Hell's Paradise, on top of the fact that I think Sagiri and Gabimaru are like one of the greatest platonic fucking duos of all time. Like, I love that Yuji Kaku did what he did here, because like these guys are like literal best fucking friends, to the point that like the fandom does everything they can to try and erase the fact that Gabimaru is married. And yeah, so like, because they want to ship him with Sagiri, but they're just friends, and it's peak. It's peak writing. Like, I love the way that Hell's Paradise does its characters. It gives every one of its characters so many layers and depth. And again, I'm getting off topic, but I think that's a big part of it too. I think a lot of people just don't like Maki fucking being powerful and eliminating her entire fucking clan, because not for nothing, and where I was getting with all of this is, no one gives Gojo shit for massacring all of the higher ups. When have you ever heard the take of, oh wow, Gojo is so evil because he killed all of those higher ups? You never hear anyone be like, well, there were good higher ups too. There were probably some good guys in the higher ups. And that's where the woke rant comes from, personally. Because again, like, I would never, I'm not someone that wants to immediately default to it's because she's a woman, but like there's so many revolving things around it that makes me feel like part of it, not all of it, but part of it is because she's a woman. Like, so yeah, my point is, Maki is a fucking badass character. I love her. I love the episode. I thought it was one of the best anime episodes of fucking all time. If you want to say it's not the best, that's fine. I probably would just need to recall my memory and really go back into my brain and think of a really great episode. I know there's Demon Slayer episodes that have been really good. There have been Chainsaw Man episodes that have been really good. But yeah, I think people make a lot of excuses for the Zedin clan, and like there's some good ones out there, blah 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 blah. But like, again, Gojo killed all of the higher ups, and you don't hear anything ever about, like, there's no, not to call out Alonzi, I love Alonzi, but there's no video out there that's like, oh, the crimes of Gojo Satoru. Like, again, not to hate on Alonzi, I love Alonzi, and that's a great video. Go check out Alonzi and shout out to him. But like, I'm just saying, like I said, not attributing any kind of thing to him at all. But what I'm saying is, like, you don't see that, because women characters are under a larger spotlight than male characters are, especially when it comes to shit like this. And like, again, I'm not saying that if you didn't like the episode, you're misogynistic. That's not the point. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is, like, there are different hints. Everyone's got their own opinion, and they all conglomerate together to make the mass of energy that formulates the negativity you see on the internet. And I'm definitely saying that, like, not all of it, but part of it is that's part of that. Yeah, remember when Mikasa got hella hate for her season 4 design? 100%, dude. That's a perfect example, Dominic. That's literally the perfect example. Like, people hated on Mikasa the moment that they stopped animating her with fucking long hair and lip gloss. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, was never even a part of her design from the original manga to begin with. Studio Pierrot literally just thought that if they didn't give every female character lip gloss, then you wouldn't be able to tell they're a girl, which is just stupid. it's small, you know, small shit like that. I feel like people wanted the experience to be slightly enhanced for the episode, but the debate took a wrong turn in the road. Maybe. I just don't know what else you could have possibly wanted. I can understand people, like, I saw someone in chat say that they wanted it a little bit more of, like, a horror vibe, but instead it was, like, fuck yeah, like, raw action and just violent, and it was kind of like, they wanted you to watch it and be like, oh my god, I can't believe she's doing this, this is awful, instead of being like, fuck yeah, Maki, murder all these people. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can understand not wanting that tone shift. Again, that's an opinion that, like, that's your own opinion. Not everyone's gonna agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen a lot of people bring up that, like, it's very Western media stylized, and I will say that's very true. Obviously, there's kung fu movies and action movies, but like Western media definitely does glorify violence more than other
$5 through super chat. Gege literally wrote Momo saying scars on a man are a badge, scars on a woman are shame.
Right now.
They
need
to be both beautiful and
might
strong.
Not be good for the youth of Japan, when it's like, it's just a little bit more violent than natural. There's nothing in Chainsaw Man that's really too crazy for your I mean, Chainsaw Man is definitely a wild series, but, like, it's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like people clutch their pearls. Again, I love the Kill Bill inspiration. I love I sometimes I enjoy violence for violence sake. I think it's okay. Oh, did my shit clear out there? But either way, my point is, before we get back into the chapter here, is I love this episode. Personally, it was a 10 out of 10 for me. Oh, the super chat was loud over my voice. Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you for the 5, Black Blur. Gege literally wrote, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, scars are on a man are a badge, scars on a woman are shame. They need to be both beautiful and strong. Exactly. That's, you're so true. It's so right. Women are under a much larger spotlight, and like I said, you know. Yeah, that's Maki supposed to be a direct, exactly, and you can see it. Naoya is also the perfect representation of that, right? Like how Naoya is like, oh well, you know, you're not pretty anymore. Your value has dropped. You might as well just stay in the shadow of Okotsu or Fushiguro now at this point, right? Like Naoya is literally saying, like, sure, you can be strong, you can be whatever, but, like, they don't think she's strong at this point, obviously. But yeah, Naoya is like, yeah, your literal only value has just depleted. Like, you shouldn't even be showing your face anymore. Like, and that's why Maki punches his shit in and Mortal Kombat fatalities his skull and turns his skull to motherfucking powder, bro. Like I said, I can understand thinking that you want it to take more of, like, a it's bad what Maki's doing vibe, but that was never, I think, Gege's intention. I always think Gege's intention was for it to be like, fuck yeah, Maki, murder these motherfuckers. And, like, again, like, I have different feelings about it, because, like, for something like Attack on Titan, I would never be like, oh, it's just fiction, bro. Like, I don't, everybody can die, and it doesn't say anything about how I feel in real life. like there's clearly a meaning and everything behind like that, and like I can understand getting in the getting in the mindset of that. Like for Maki, I can understand exactly why Maki would do it. I don't necessarily think that you should murder your entire family if they're you know, abusing you. I don't think that's necessarily the correct answer. But at the same time, it's the same thing like in real life. You watch this true crime shit, like, you know, like what's that one girl who just got let out, Gypsy Rose? Her mom fucking made her be sick and in a wheelchair and pretend to have cancer her whole life, and then she killed her fucking mom. Like, do I think that she should have killed her mom? No. Do I completely understand why the fuck she killed her mom? Yes. What the fuck do you mean? Of course I understand why she did that shit. 110%. Like, it's fine. Like, should she go to jail for that? Yes. Can I understand why she would do that? Also at the same time, yes. Literally. So anyway, off of that topic and getting back to Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, I think I've said my piece. I forgot that the talk to speech was set for Dono, so that's why I talked during the talk to speech. So I'll try not to do that again. Thank you for calling me out for that, Shadow Monarch. Okay. So now that rant is over, let's get into just like a full review of everything from beginning to end here. I'm going to start from the very beginning of the chapter and just go through Deborah's section with Maharaga, get my thoughts out about it and everything like that. And then I'm going to get into the whole Yuji section, and then we'll talk about all of that and then we'll finalize with what I think my, you know, final thoughts on everything will be completely. So does Yuji gain any experience in the 60 years gap? I mean, clearly, without a doubt. I don't know, he might have just been solely meditating and training by himself, but that clearly was more than fucking enough. Without a doubt. Surprised Deborah hasn't used the reversal of his curse technique yet. Yo, imagine Deborah starts whipping out the 10 shadows. The reversal of his technique is literally just summoning the 10 shadows. Deborah summons his own Maharaga. That would be wild, bro. I think it's finally time for Deborah slander to completely end, because it is very clear that the potential of Deborah Kuraba is skyrockets ahead of not just everyone in this current generation, because that doesn't really say much, but I think it's very clear that he would definitely rival special grades of the original era of Jujutsu Kaisen. The sheer fact that once Deborah was finally pushed here and he starts actually risking his life to use curse techniques in a way that he has never used before, because he has literally never been pushed once in his life. He starts pushing himself and he is immediately just obliterating Maharaga. Just like he's moving so fast that Maharaga's hand is just being ripped off entirely, which is, one, shows you how fast he's going. He's literally doing that thing that characters from The Boys did, which if you don't know what I mean, look up that scene. You might regret that you did. But this artwork that is being shown, especially with how you see how there is literally buildings of entire city blocks just being bulldozed over entirely as Deborah is pushing himself and moving so quickly that apparently air itself is moving from a fluid to a solid. It's like he's literally pushing against an actual brick wall as he is shoving himself through it, and time itself is slowing down. He is not at exact light speed, but it is insane, to the point that when Deborah actually puts himself together and throws a kick with all of that power together, it is so strong that it quite literally releases almost like a Fuga level explosion almost, right? Like it covers so much ground, how much damage that Deborah is able to do just casually. And I want to make it very clear that this is casually, because despite Deborah being in his very weak mindset last chapter, I know a lot of people hold that against him. I genuinely think it's just because he has never been put in that situation before. And now that he is taking everything, you know, as high level as he can, there's no doubt in my mind that Maharaga might actually stand no chance here, because this man obliterates Maharaga until there's literally like the tiniest fragment of his body left. I have no idea how this Shikigami survived. Like this is crazy. Say what you will about Sukuna destroying Maharaga with Malevolent Shrine and Fuga. Say what you will about Gojo being able to one-tap Maharaga with purple. Like, this is with his bare hands. And holy crap. One, the fact that Deborah was able to reduce Maharaga to just this, just by kicking him at that fast of a speed, shows Deborah's attack potency is some of the craziest and highest that the series has ever seen. On top of that, this is also a Maharaga buff, in my opinion. The fact that literally it's almost just the wheel left, and he's almost instantly able to come back from this. Yeah, if Maharaga wasn't adapting in the very beginning and the wheel wasn't spinning, which that's also a big learn, is that brute force is something that Maharaga adapts to much quicker than plain old curse techniques. So if you are just hitting Maharaga as hard as you can, as fast as you can, Maharaga is still going to be able to adapt to that. We have gotten actual full confirmation on that now. Where this fight is going to go from here, I genuinely cannot tell you, because Deborah is just literally, the Broly quote, getting stronger as he fights. He is quite literally pirouetting and doing insane dance moves with Maharaga. That is not just, again, how casually he's now taking the beast that was just overwhelming him moments ago, but it shows how immersed Deborah is getting into battle. This is very similar to a Hanami moment, where Deborah is learning what it is to fight and is finally beginning to realize this is something that he loves to do. So much, in fact, that he has Higuruma level potential. Maybe even better than Higuruma level potential. Because that leg that Deborah kicked Maharaga with was incinerated almost completely in the blast. Like, the leg is gone entirely. To where Deborah's like, oh, I should probably cut this off. This is more of a hindrance and I should just fight with one leg only. Which, one, shows you how badass of a warrior he actually is, that like he just was like, yeah, you know what, I lost my leg. Oh well, time to get this thing off of me. But two, he stops before he does that and he thinks about it and goes, wait, you know what, those earthlings, you know, they always talked about how they could use special sorcery to heal Cross and Maru. I bet I could do that. I don't know how you would do it off of negative energy, but oh, well, Maharaga did hit me with that sword before, so maybe let's try that. I could probably produce this, and boom, Deborah's got a new leg. And it's almost like this chapter was a direct response to really anybody that continually was downplaying Deborah or trying to make it seem like when Sukuna and Gojo fought Maharaga, they did a better job. Because one thing people were saying was Sukuna was easily able to figure out what he was up against. Now you could make the argument, oh, we already knew because of Yamato no Orochi. Deborah may have figured out the adaptation late, but he learned reverse curse technique in a freaking instant. So the fact that he is just now learning that he loves to fight, the fact that he was able to pick up reverse curse technique like that, tells me that Maharaga might not only just be cooked here, we might have actually made the already world-ending threat stronger just by having this fight in general. So obviously, as we're going to get into it, Yuji Itadori has appeared, and Yuji Itadori has clearly upscaled as well. is that gonna be enough to take on the potentially strongest being in the universe right now, Deborah Karaba? Right now, I really don't know if that's the case, but right now we don't have to worry about that. We do have other things to talk about, because one thing that I'm glad we got back to was Politics Kaizen, because it's been a while since the community has had time, since the battles begun, to start arguing about who's in the right. The Sumerians, the Earthlings, who has the claim to Tokyo, should we be slaughtering cursed spirits, what the hell is a Kallion, who cares? I do love that we're just right back into it. Going through this weekly, and also because we had so many break weeks, it's felt like a really long time since the actual plot itself was taking precedent, the part that got everyone reinvested into Modulo in the first place after everyone hated the series when it first started for that Tiger chapter. But the higher-ups are diabolical in Jujutsu Kaisen. We know that, and they have never once changed, which is sad. They can claim to change as much as you want. The moment that Yuta died and was in the dirt, these guys started playing games. And now that Usami is out of the picture, they no longer have really any resistance at all to do what they need to. And even though the Sumerians are causing issues and they are clearly patrolling the area where Kallions are to keep the cursed spirits safe, the sorcerers are realizing that cursed spirits may start evacuating from Tokyo and getting out, and they cannot let this occur. They are refusing to accept the fact that cursed spirits are not gone forever. They are continually trying to deny that fact and keep everything the same. Now, can you say that they're wrong for doing that? Not necessarily. Can you say that maybe we should just accept and let all of the curses out and just let things go back to their normal way? Probably. But either way, before we even have time to go back into real debates, we realize that Asuki and a group of Sumerians, as they patrol Tokyo, are talking about if they see any Earthlings, they're going to detain and potentially kill them, which it's always funny to me that Asuki's lackeys that go with him are always like, that seems a little extreme, Asuki. And he's like, screw it, they attacked Cross first, which, like, to be fair, like, the Jujutsu higher-ups and the people that are traveling are also just as, you know, bloodthirsty. These guys are like, discount Miwa from the dollar store at home, like, I guess her descendant or whatever, you know, is more than willing to throw hands with the Sumerians, just like Asuki is. They're both radicalized completely. So when we get to a point here where it just seemed like none of this was gonna work and we're all fucking beat, who decides to show their face? Itadori Yuji, the man, the myth, the legend himself that everyone has been trying to get a hold of this entire time. And honestly, him showing up right now can either be a really good thing or a really, really bad thing. Because from what he says, it seems like Yuji didn't believe that the Sumerians and Earthlings would be able to coexist. According to his exact dialogue, now that we have a better translation, he says that I knew that this was going to happen. I knew that this was going to cause nothing but conflict. And on top of that, he says, I didn't really talk to anyone about that, but you know what? I guess I was right. So Yuji has been watching from afar. He hasn't revealed himself to anybody, even though we've been calling out to him, but Yuji has clearly been watching and letting things unfold. Now feeling like he has to step in almost, that things have gotten too bad before, you know, things are just going to cause major issues. And we have here just absolute craziness on a level that I've never seen before. Yuji summons a piercing blood here, but it's not just any piercing blood. It's like a piercing blood scatter volley shot that has multiple tentacles that are able to pierce the people inside of the building from multiple different angles, all at the exact, like, all at, you know, the most critical points that needed to be done. So Yuji's able to aim inside of the building and fire this in so many different ways that the blood erupts from the entire building at every window. Now, there is definitely contention in this scene. People are like, Yuji would never kill all of these people for no reason. Yuji is simply just incapacitating these people and doing what he can to, you know, stop the conflict. Now, some people look like they have been pierced through, like the Sumerian guy looks like he definitely got shot through the fucking, you know, midsection here. The Miwa looking character does get pierced through the arm. Some of them are pierced through the leg. The one Jujutsu sorcerer looks like he merely gets grazed on the shoulder and everything like that. So you could say that, you know, Yuji primarily aimed for the Sumerians and is now going to be full on, all the Sumerians need to die. I'm going to kill every single one of you guys. Or Yuji is just, you know, full frontal assault on all the people that are causing issues. And like, you guys are the radicals, so I'm taking you guys out. And then there's also the possibility that you're right, like he's going to, you know, incapacitate a bunch of people, and then as people have said, he might be able to output reverse curse technique and heal, which would be fucking insane. Like I will always bring up the idea and theory that the Tiger chapter was foreshadowing and referencing Yuji after being gone for so many years. He was a small cub that was very easily able to communicate and loved everyone. And now that he has been forced, now that his hand has been forced, Yuji is now, no one gets to live. Everyone dies who is involved. Take no prisoners. I'm eradicating all of you. Obviously, that's very extreme. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. Right now, we really don't know fully and completely what Yuji's plan is with all of this. We can really just guess here. He does say that he thinks he might have overdone it, which, you know, obviously shows that he was trying to hold back somewhat. As of right now, Yuji showing his face again, we really don't know what the play ultimately is. And it's kind of hard to tell until we get the next chapter and see. We don't have a break week next week, but it's no longer a lie. It's no longer Gege just showing old characters to build hype back up. Itadori Yuji is present and interacting. He is involving himself in the conflict. Whether he is going to be his own neutral third party, whether he's going to take a side, we really don't know. All I know is that the last strongest sorcerer, Gojo, was more than willing to massacre the higher ups as soon as they started fucking around. Maybe Yuji feels similarly to that. We don't know. I'm taking a lot of, you know, grace by assuming that. He could have, just as everyone said, incapacitated everyone. He basically is restraining them with his blood, and he's going to hold them up and be like, guys, you're all stupid. We're going to work this out, and I'm going to force you guys to work it out. All I know is the fact that we literally don't know what Yuji's role is going to be in this story shows how well the writing has been and shows me how interested I am to see what the hell is going forward. We have not seen Yuji's face for a very, very long time, and I know a lot of people are scared to wonder why that is. And all I'm saying is I am more than ready to see what the hell Gege and Iwasaki are cooking, or Iwasumi, I'm sorry. And yeah, guys, if Yuji is back, we may actually as well get Mahito. We only have a few chapters left. If we're keeping up with this 3-volume pace, we may get a little bit longer than that. Maybe we'll get 4 volumes. I don't know how we're gonna end in only like maybe 6 chapters or so, but I am fucking ready, guys. Let me know what all of your thoughts are down below in the comments. Let me know how excited you are to see Yuji and what you think Yuji's side or role is going to be for the remainder of this story. And I'll see you guys in the very next chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. As you can always count on me every single week for not just JJK, but every other series you may read weekly, like Dandadan, Gachi Akuta, Chainsaw Man, Kagurabachi, and more, guys. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. All right, and that is the chapter summary out, guys. Yeah, I've seen we're still gonna stream for a little bit because now we're gonna speculate. I'm not gonna stop stream right away. That was just me finishing. The review. But I do like the idea that Yuji might have started to look like Tengen. I think that's also a really, really strong possibility as well. close these fucking windows. Let's get the thumbnail back up here. Choso did a similar piercing blood in Shibuya. I thought that was slicing exorcism, but I could be wrong. Piercing blood tells a lot about Yuji without saying much. Makes you wonder how much curse energy he has now. Yeah, for sure. For sure. What if Yuji also has a third eye in the middle of his head? True. Everyone, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps the stream way more than you know. Don't forget that the stream is sponsored by Gamersupps. Gamersupps.gg/noop. Link is in the pinned message. Use my code NOOP to get 10% off your order. Or if you've never tried Gamersupps, use my code NOOP anyway and get some free samples as a new customer on me. Just click the link, use the code. That's a great way to support the channel. But if not, you can support the channel for free by hitting that like button. I love every single one of you guys. And like I said, we're just yapping now. We just finished the chapter review, so we're just yapping. Ask me all the questions you got. Let's see if we can hash this out. I'm really excited to see what the hell. You know what? Let's do a poll here. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Whose side is Yuji on? Let's see what you guys think. Whose side is Yuji gonna be on? Yeah, I don't know. I just found this coloring. I have literally no idea. Remember how Tengen said from living so long started to look differently? I think that's why Yuji started to wear the coat. Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. Do you think Deborah will stumble on barrier techniques? No. I think Deborah would very easily get into the barrier technique for sure. I think Deborah, obviously, if Deborah has never seen reverse curse technique, I don't know if Deborah may have domain expansion. It's a good question. We haven't really the only person we've seen use a barrier technique so far in Jujutsu Kaisen is whatchamacallit, Tsurugi. Tsurugi's the only one that did it. Yeah, no, I did not generate that. Yuji's just holding himself to Gojo's curse. That's what I think. What if the Sumerians follow follow the Rumelians back to Sumeria to help them fight the Discante? I've seen so many people bring that up from the beginning. Yuji goes back
Dabura reminds me of Maruam and Prince Seregnik from HXH on how fast he is instantly learning these things.
That'd be wild. Cam Sulin, thank you so much for the 5. Yeah, he is kind of like Meruem and Prince Serodnik with their potential. It's so funny that you say that. Thank you again for the support. Thank you again for the 5. Like, I genuinely, I really want to do the greatest potential in manga video and just talk about one Serodnik. But you bring up a good point. Meruem is probably a really fucking good example. Meruem is probably a real good fucking example. Black Blur, thank you for the 2. Prediction, Deborah uses Black Flash to kill Maharaga. Yo, that would be fucking peak. it would be really cool to see, like, listen, we never got a Black Flash clash. All right, I want to see two motherfuckers go fist to fist Black Flash with one another, and I'll pay money to see it, damn it. He saw Usami's cursed speech. What if he could turn his murderous intent to something like that? Now that would be fucking unreal, bro. If he just starts being able to copy, he's the new Yuta. Yuka's like, he's like Grandpa. Yeah, so One Piece hockey clash. Sure, exactly. I think I've seen that before. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I think that'd be a good video. You always cooking with the videos. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have a couple fun videos that I want to do. That's definitely one of them for sure. That's definitely one of them. Yeah, maybe like Meruem, Hisoka, and Saradnik or something like that. Thank you for the 5 gifted members, China Doll. Appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Deborah hasn't even used his other technique. Yeah, I think it's like that murderous intent curse technique. I think that's how he created the poles. I think that might be how like his light does damage, right? One guy in the Discord suggested Shinjuku crew versus Deborah. I definitely would be down to do that. I think I would want to wait. I would want to wait on that just to wait to see if Deborah unleashes anything else, right? Like I would want to wait just to see if Deborah shows us anything else crazy. Same thing with like people keep asking me for an Akamura Soga versus JJK video, and as fun as I know that would be, I just like I want this arc to at least end, and I just want Akamura's current power status to be like in solidified to a degree, right? Like I don't want to make an Akamura Soga video or spend so much time on an Akamura Soga video and then he fucking comes out with a new ability that completely changes everything. So I want to at least wait because I think this arc is about to be over in Kagurabachi. So I think once Kagurabachi's once the arc is over and like I know I'm not going to see Akamura for another hot minute, I feel more confident in making that video. Yeah, I agree with what chat's saying. I think he uses them both at the same time. Like that's how he turns because light doesn't have mass technically, so that's how he makes like the light beams offensive. Like he can just shoot light, sure, but like the way he turns the light into attacks with the murderous intent. So could Deborah now travel to Samoria on his own? That's actually a hysterical question. That's actually so fucking funny. How much better with Shrine do you think Yuji's gotten? I mean, if this is piercing blood, I am honestly like, I'm gonna do so much walk back now that we got Yuji in Modulo and we see he really has grown so much. Like I'm fully 110% willing to believe that Yuji has learned not just projectile dismantle and cleave, but like also I wouldn't be surprised if he learned like the fire arrow or something similar to it. At this point, that piercing blood has got me rethinking Yuji to a huge degree. Like unreal. At this point, I'm withholding all Yuji scaling opinions of my own. I'm retracting them. I'm completely retracting them. They're off the table, and I'm just gonna go ahead and speak like I don't know. I don't know how strong Yuji is. We're gonna have to wait and see. He has reached a level of time skip growth that I can no longer comment on. Yeah, endless scaling. Yeah, his divine flame could definitely just be like a punch instead of a shadow. Prodigy, I just realized you weren't a mod. Hold on. Popped you on that. China, oh, okay, I did already mod you. I think we're good here. Okay. Kamehameha piercing blood. I fucking love that 77% of people said, yeah, Yuji's on his own, bro. Yuji's on his own. I'd laugh, we're all sitting here waiting for Yuji to pop Shrine only from the bust out anti-gravity. Listen, I would love that.
At Voldigard 1896 tipped $5 through Super Chat. Kenjiku was in his mother body that has an innate technique, so could Yuji have possibly gained that gravity thing? If so, wouldn't he have 3 techniques?
Thank you for the 5, Voldigard. Yeah, like, I genuinely, I made a video a while ago, on my main channel. Let me plug it real quick. Don't mind if I plug. Don't mind if I plug. Yeah, don't mind this one. This one I'm gonna have to delete. Like, this whole video is now wrong completely. I'm gonna, yeah, I was already getting cooked for this video and now I'm wrong. You guys, the Yuji truthers, have proven me wrong. But how strong was the Modulo trio? I did give Yuji a little bit more flack here because this video was basically like, what would I do and what would I give for every full potential, Yuji, Megami, and Nobara? And I thought it would be cool. So like Yuji, what I said would be cool for a sequel would be if Yuji was to like travel the world in search of cursed objects and like slowly seek to like devour and eat all of the cursed objects and just erase cursed objects from the world, and he would slowly gain more power. I thought it would be really cool if he did eat like the remainder of Kenjaku to, you know, have some kind of connection with his mom, have some kind of, you know, connection to the anti-gravity technique. Like, I thought like it would be really cool to make Yuji like a Hohenheim type character. If anybody has seen, if anybody has seen the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I don't know if Full Metal Alchemist regular is the same, but Hohenheim, he's basically like a philosopher's, spoilers for Full Metal Alchemist. If you don't want to be spoiled on Full Metal Alchemist, here's your moment right here. Give me like 10 minutes or 10 seconds to 30 seconds to explain. Hohenheim is a philosopher's stone, so he has like 100 different souls within him. And what Hohenheim does is he spends time getting to know each individual soul inside of him and understanding them and, you know, becoming friends with them and like making sure that, you know, so like I imagine Yuji would do something similar, right? Like he would do that kind of benevolent thing where like he would do his best to be friends with any kind of spirits or any kind of people that he would inhabit his body with him. So like I kind of like to imagine Yuji as that kind of character where he'd be absorbing curses and cursed spirits and objects and like letting them live within him, and he kind of just shares them all together. So like having a connection to Kenjaku I thought would have been cool, and also I thought it'd be really cool if Yuji was actually able to devour some level of like connection to Mahito, and Yuji and Mahito were forced to, you know, live together. Like I thought that'd be great. Like Yuji, to make sure the curse of humanity never comes back, Yuji just has Mahito exist inside of him, and Yuji gets some level of idol transfiguration or something. I don't know. Again, this is a complete headcanon video, but it was still really fun to make and write. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. That's on the main channel. There's a theory that Yuji could have absorbed the other players after the events with Sukuna. I wouldn't put it past him. That would make sense. That would make sense to me. Listen, I was one of the biggest truthers and theory crafters that Yuji was going to devour Angel after he lost Sukuna. I still think that was a missed opportunity by Gege. I still think that was honestly the better option, having Yuji absorb Angel instead of Hana after Hana got taken out of commission. Like, I know Gege made the whole, like, cursed object is stuck inside you can't be separated, can't be taken out, no one can take Angel out of Hana, but like I genuinely would have thought that would have been a cooler way to develop Yuji's character and get him to where he needed to be and have him unlock the new technique. I still love Yuji and everything that Gege did, but I still think having Yuji you know, eat Angel and have Angel be the new you know, inner demon of Yuji, I thought that would be so fucking cool. But either way, no barrier domain Yuji. Oh, I think that's pretty likely. I like I said, I don't think anything's out of the realm of possibility now. I don't think anything is out of the realm of possibility now. I think anything is possible. Yuji would never use a no barrier domain. He values life above all else. Yeah, I think no barrier domain would be something Yuji could be able to use, like, but he just doesn't use it unless he knows no one else is gonna get caught. Who do I think is gonna be the major villain in Modulo? Right now, there isn't really like a solid antagonist. Like, everyone, like, no matter what you want to say about, you know, like your stance on who is in the right and who is in the wrong in Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, like, I think it's fair to say no one is inherently evil in Modulo. Like, you've got people like Asuki and the dude that shot Cross that genuinely suck as human beings, right? Like, or just, you know, Sumerian beings. Like, they suck, but like, they're doing what they think is right. Sure, you know, it is terrible, but they're not necessarily evil, right? Like, you can say what you want. Like, I know there are people that take sides and everything like that, but genuinely speaking, there's not really a universal antagonist in Modulo right now. Which I also think, not to take Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo into like a Code Geass, like Zero Requiem Attack on Titan ending situation, but like, I also like wouldn't be surprised if Yuji, this is Yuji's way of like think about it. Like, Yuji is basically ageless. He can't die. He exists in a world where he is the absolute strongest being and no one even stands a chance to him. Deborah might be able to fight him, but like, I've honestly been thinking about, doesn't it make sense for Yuji to be the big bad here and give everyone a reason, you know, to come together and fight him, and then that would help everyone solve their issues? Like, that's kind of what I mean. Like, I like, personally, like, I would kind of hate that in a sense, because I think too many stories go that route now. I've seen too many, like, it's, don't get me wrong, Attack on Titan and Code Geass, great stories, they're amazing, and I don't think they should change their endings, and there's nothing wrong with those endings, but I've just seen those endings so many times now. I'm just like, I don't think it would be unique or like anything too crazy. But like, I also think that's a very reasonable, honest theory to have, right? Like, to where like Yuji can be like, okay, I knew this was gonna happen. Like, these guys are gonna continually fight over and over again unless I give them a reason to come together. And Yuji can now use the strength that he has been given to bring humans and Sumerians together, and then also be able to die. Something that, not for nothing, Yuji has been wanting to do since the beginning of since the main series. Yuji's been wanting to die since Shibuya, bro. Yuji has literally, like, that, like, I think a lot of people forget that, like, Yuji's, like, one of Yuji's main conditions for ending the culling game was that Megumi and everyone kill him and just take Sukuna out with him after they save Sumiki. Like, I think a lot of people don't really remember that, like, if the Sumiki plan went well, their plan was literally to just kill Yuji after that. Yuji was like, I'm the Fallen, you just kill me, there won't be enough of Sukuna left for him to revive. No matter how many fingers are left, it won't be enough. And me and Sukuna are tied together, and it is what it is. I die, and that's okay, right? Like, so Yuji being more than willing to sacrifice himself for the greater good is not something that I feel like is out of character. Do I think that is his only option as a character in Modulo? No, I don't. Again, I think there's multiple ways that Yuji can go from here. But I have been thinking about that possibility a lot as to that may be why Yuji is showing up. He said, all right, fuck it. I have to put myself on the line here, because what else is Yuji gonna do? Is Yuji just gonna bring everyone to heel and just be like, all right, now I'm gonna govern everyone, and you guys fuck up, I'm gonna kill you? Like, really, what else is Yuji's play here? You know? Like, even if Yuji restricts everyone, puts everyone in a blood prison, and walks up and goes, all right, guys, talk out your issues now. Like, what is that gonna solve? You know what I mean? They've already shown at the moment Yuta died, the higher-ups are more than willing to start fucking around and playing, you know, games and doing on that bullshit. So there's also the possibility that what a lot of people said, Yuji says, all right, Sumerians, bring me back to your home planet. Me and Deborah are gonna clap up your government, and then you guys are just, you know, you guys start anew. You guys have your own issues. You know, like, that's a possibility. I think that would be the most disappointing ending of all. Like, I don't think that would be a bad ending. I just think that would be the least climactic ending. That's Disney. That's Disney. Like, am I crazy for thinking that? Like, that's Disney. Like, it's like, Yuji, why didn't you show up from day one then, if that's all we had to do, right? Like, that ending is ass. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like, that, like, it's like, all right, then, like, we could have solved this 20 chapters ago. None of us even needed to get into this big political conflict if you just showed your ass up from the beginning and said that from the get-go, Yuji. So yeah, I don't think I would I don't think I would appreciate that one. But you know, we'll just have to wait and see. Like I've said, I mean, if we're doing 3 volumes, we've got maybe 6, well, technically 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6, 7 chapters left. If we want to, I mean, like, you could argue that you might be able to fit 26 into volume 3, but Jujutsu Kaisen, the original volumes, were 25 chapters into 3 volumes. So technically speaking, if, again, whether we get extended or not, they haven't really made it clear. Not 6. Oh no, I said it. But yeah, that's about how many chapters are left right now. So not much time for a lot of crazy story developments, but also at the same time, this is the man that gave us the Sumerian backstory into Cross's development, into Tsurugi and Maru becoming best friends, into everyone having the happy celebration dinner, and everything was like, wow, this is fucking great. Like Gege can pull it off, but what is he going to pull off is the main question, if for real. That's the big one right there. What is he going to pull off? The series gets left on a cliffhanger, that would be criminal. Nah, he can't do that. You say that and you joke and we laugh, but like, Gege can't do that. He will actually get assassinated, I think. I think people will find him and get him if he doesn't stick this landing like a fucking pirouette, bro. So you bring up the novel, and I said this a couple of streams ago, but hardcore prediction, the horror novel that Jujutsu Kaisen gets is going to be just average everyday paranormal investigators dealing with cursed spirits. Not people with sorcery, not people with cursed energy, just people that are well, enough cursed energy to see cursed spirits. It's going to be the life of like Windows, right? The life of people that report to Jujutsu High and like, you know, oh, there's cursed spirits here. Like that, in my opinion, is the best possible way to do a Jujutsu Kaisen horror, is to take cursed spirits and make them the most dangerous fucking existence in the world, right? Like you put normal, average, everyday people that can just see curses. And, you know, because think about it, Gege's whole original design of Jujutsu Kaisen wanted it to be paranormal investigators. Like, people make jokes about like Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo is just Dandadan and blah 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 blah, but people don't realize like Gege literally wanted to do Dandadan. Gege literally wanted to do Dandadan, and then his editor convinced him to do school setting, to do Jujutsu, to do a shonen battle school setting, and just use what he was thinking of and just turn it into a shonen battle in a school setting. So like Gege like wasn't that far away from it. So like seeing that idea of a horror novel, like him being willing to do that, like that makes me think that like that's probably the route that it would go. Would be cursed spirits, all that good stuff, but just with, instead of Jujutsu sorcerers, just your average everyday paranormal investigators. Maybe one of them has like a curse technique that's or like very, very weak curse techniques, right? You know what I mean? Like they might have access to like talismans and like, you know, like your average everyday cursed objects and sorcery, but like they don't have like, they're not like fucking Yuji and Nobara. Like, you know, what's it like? What's Miwa's everyday life like dealing with curses, going on, if Miwa was to go on solo missions? What do Miwa, Mai, and Momo's everyday missions look like? That's your horror novel right there. Yeah, why did Yuji decide to show up here of all places? Like, he does know the fights are going on. That's also very, very important too, to note that like Maru and Tsurugi are fighting. Yuka, Maharaga, and Deborah are fighting. It's not like Yuji wouldn't be able to like sense that shit, most likely. So yeah, showing up here of all places. How do you think Chaos and Harmony works? I don't get that technique. Like, so Chaos and Harmony is definitely a weird one. I think Chaos and Harmony works in a sense that it brings out like, because remember, like they were able to use the ability to find the best possible match for Sumeria. So I think what Chaos and Harmony does is Chaos and Harmony might literally just be, it gives Maru the best possible ability that he needs at the time. Or it's water to vegetation. The fact that Maru was able to like freeze, like heat the water up and then freeze the water instantly. He's able to like grow a lot of them. He's able to grow a lot of like nature. He's able to use gravity. Like he's harmonizing with, yeah, it's very similar to like, yeah, it's got to have something to do with that. I honestly, I can't really put it together into words. Harmonizing with a target and chaos to distort nature. There you go. Said it better than I ever could have, honestly. But anyway, y'all, I think I'm gonna call it right now. We had a very awesome stream. Honestly, we had plenty of good shit to talk about. But I don't want to yap too much longer. As always, we will be, I'm going to take the chapter review summary. If you guys missed that or you're still interested in rewatching it, I'm going to obviously take that. I'm going to put it into a more condensed version. Jesse will upload it, you know, the awesome person she is. So if you missed the summary or you want to rewatch it and you don't want to go through the VOD and find it, chapter review will be up in a little bit. And that being said, obviously, as you know, we've got Kagurabachi Sakamoto Days coming out, as well as if you are interested and you would like to, please feel free to join the Discord if you want to keep the conversation going. If you guys want to join the community, talk more about Jujutsu Kaisen, Kagurabachi, any of the series that you may read weekly, join the Discord, please. Yeah, great way to just stay involved here. I don't know why there's two different Discord links, but either way. Oh, that's just where recipients will land. Either way. If the twin rule applies to aliens, that's even crazier. I think it definitely does, because they share the curse technique, right? It's technically both of their techniques, but I think it seems to be that Maru's the only one that has it. Cross had harmony and Maru had chaos. Ah, okay, okay. All right. But yeah, join the Discord, guys. If you're interested, hit the like button if you haven't already. It's a great way to help the channel and support it for free. Gamersubs.gg/noop. Use my code noop for 10% off or get some free samples using my code anyway. And guys, I love you so much. You're all great people. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.